your soul fluctuates. And what I mean by that is it is kind of like streaming, and it is streaming what I call from your origins. And your origins kind of need to be mapped as a human, from a human perspective, because from other perspectives it's a bit different. And I will show you. Okay, so it's important to understand with origins that it's about perspective. So I'm going to talk about this first because this is why we even have origins to begin with. So I'm not going to say the whole story. I do have it elsewhere. If you are interested, just let me know. But I'm going to quickly talk about this. So first of all, this ring it's again, all of these things I talk about are representations of something. It's instead of me speaking at you, I'm showing you things to point to. So this is the potential. This is not in our this is like not in our universe. This is when basically everything that happens will happen to the other places. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to talk about the whole story. You can there's somewhere you can listen to it, but not right now. So think of, in this potential, all of these, it's just potential, and there's a lot of yeah, there's just potential. There's nothing really going on. Kind of something does start. And what starts is, and again, that's in this ring. And this isn't here yet. So what happens is the pulsing starts, and the pulse helps these patterns form. And so these are what I would call the precursors to sources. And so these, you can just think of them as little patterns. They basically exit because they want to hold the pattern. They don't want to depend on that pulse that they keep going by. So these little strings, this is very, sorry, this is a bit wild, but this is it is already wild. These little strings represent them exiting the potential right here. So this one, this one, this one. And there's more things going on, but I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. And when they exit like this, it basically, you start your path. Now, think of all these little spirals you see. All of them have these. And these are different origins. So the beginning, so this whole thing, this whole spiral, like right here, becomes later a universe. But right now it is a source origin. So every single person has their own source origin pattern. Even if your origin, as in like why you're a human, has nothing to do with this, even that origin that you are coming from, that's directly, which we'll talk about in a second, will come from one of these. Now, here we go. So there's a source origin, there's a source origin, and this one comes from over here somewhere. Now, like I said, I didn't want it to get too messy, but every single line you see here will have their own things. So this one creates this one creates this one creates this one creates this. And as long as it's going forward and creating more of these, that is life. Now, if you want to go back, that is death. So these are the first life. All of these are origins. Sometimes in stories, people will talk about these in religious texts, and also when people remember things, they will talk about this, what they do here. Everyone has their own stories. They will talk about these origins as if they are gods or beings or whatever you want to call it. They all have different things. Look at this one. This one has this thing that happens, which we're not going to go there. And that one will have all those. Now, when something is created, so if they create something with someone else, or it gets more complicated as they keep going on, I call these branches. So you will get a branch when you do that. So it's like, it kind of has to do with co-creation. So if this one co-creates with this one, but in this one that I just made, they haven't done that yet. But when they start to do that, that's when universes are needed. So then they kind of visit each other and combine and make new things. But this branching system, you can think of this, you can think of this as inside each of these little balls has this branching system. So it's a branch that happens within. It's not a branch that happens outside like a tree. It's an inside branching. So in that spiral. Okay, so everyone will have one of these. The most popular ones, I'm going to list them, are chaos, void, light, and there's new ones, but I'm not going to go through the other ones. So, and also abyss. So those are the most popular ones that most people have. And then these branch ones, or the ones that are coming from it, like I call them emanations. Those kind of are, they're not quite a source origin because they didn't come directly from here, but they are not a branch. They are like just, they're either one of these little balls or they're one of these. Like there's two things going on. Uh, it's more complicated, but this is just, I don't worry if you don't get it. It's just to show you that the way that this is created. So this is why we have this happening. Okay. Now, when I talked about in the last video, I'll put them in the bottom of this. So keep a lookout. You can click it. About universes. This is our style of universe, which is a toroidal field. All of these little dots are also toroidal fields. So, it's like exactly this within this. And this is within a universe, like those ones, those little balls I showed before. So this is in one of those. They can't be on their own. They're in one of those universes, one of the little balls that are going around. And so so this is like, let's say this is a human. Inside that is another toroidal field, right? Now, there's also some stuff I talk about when I talk about the fallen and things like that and what that means. And this is kind of a human. So yeah, by the way, these are like inside this and inside this. This is the infinity, this little tube, because it keeps going infinity. Inside this, inside us, our origins go directly to those things that we said, or it can be in this main one, this big one. So like, let's say this is our universe, right? All the things that happened in here, there's more. Like I couldn't do it because it would get messy, but let's say all these layers, there's layers inside. We have layers as well. Those are also, you could be as a human from one of these origins. Now, when these beings create this, when they were creating this and this stuff was going on in this universe, you can think of it like almost like this little box. It's like a net and everything's connected, right? And when they're connected like this, you can think of that, they would call them vessels or your dolls or whatever. And so they did not come into this universe and split up. They split themselves up and found their own way to do this. So this is a fun note for people who are obsessing with the fallen things and celebrities and stuff like that. That's what this is. They're all little pieces that are in here that they can play, like they say, but it's not like that. So they're a human that's living their life, but they could jump in there. And if you notice from the other video, I put these in there. But anyway, so yeah, so I hope that helps with these kind of things. When I talk about these things that I've just talked about, this is not necessarily the perspective of just a human. It is for humans to think about. But if you think about it, you can see how many options of your origins there are. Like, it's like so many and everyone's so different. So this is why when I do my sessions, I talk about mapping out your infinity or your origin, which is your soul. Because even as a human, you might be streaming not just from these, you might be streaming from something that has nothing to do with you. And that's when you can kind of look at these things. So I hope that helped. If you, like I said, I have different kinds of sessions. I have ones where you're seriously mapping stuff out, and I have sessions where it's just one question. I want to be able to help everybody. So Let me know if you're interested in those.